Alright, so this review is going to be a 2-in-1 because they're practically the same thing. The only real difference is the hose setup, the dust collection setup, and the actual motor, so personally, to me, they're pretty much the same thing, so I thought I'd just knock out 2-in-1. Of course, if you couldn't tell by the cover photo and the title, one, you need to get your eyes checked, and two, yes, it is the Devil Swivel glides. Okay, so I think I'm gonna start off with one, then move on to the other. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I'm just gonna do it how I want to. So we've got ourselves the Vision Swivel Glide MVP Silver and the MVP Swivel Glide, not Vision, Green. So I got this one at a rummage sale at my grandpa's apartment building for $20, and this one was a trash find last Friday. So I've used this one like once. I used this one a couple of times. So I think I'm going to start off with this one. So I think this one's a 2001. If I can find it. Hold on. Yep, 2001. It is very squeaky. But this is a Dirt Devil MVP Swivel Glide. Probably one of the most common variants. I still find that HEPA type filtration funny. It's not really a HEPA filtration because it's just two-layer filters and a paper bag. But the Hoover Type Y HEPA bags are compatible with these, at least to my knowledge. I'm going to order a pack soon and put one in this so I don't have to deal with these crappy Dirt Devil paper bags, because as you can see, this is just after like 2 or 3 uses. These paper bags really aren't good. It's already a whole bunch of dust building up in there. It's just like, already? I know that there are microfresh paper bags, which probably are a lot better, but I still want to use multi-layer HEPA bags in these so that I know that I'm getting a good clean bag chamber, and because they also increase airflow and reduce noise, so that's nice. So I'm going to talk about swivel casters and the swivel glide thing for both of these. They're both a good idea and a bad idea. So okay, so when I'm vacuuming with these, silence you. I'm a lazy perfectionist, really. So I kind of like it when my vacuum lines are straight. They can be off center, but they can still be straight. But of course, with the swivel casters, they get kind of wobbly. So that's a little bit aggravating, but oh well. But actually going around corners and stuff like this chair, it's certainly a lot better than a Dyson ball or a swivel neck on like a canister or a Shark or a Bissell or a Hoover. Because you can actually move the vacuum around it and then move it back. I'll give you an example, because I can. Pardon the immense squeakiness, I need to put some grease on the hinges. So you want to go around, you just got to do this, because the swivel casters actually help. Certainly a lot more user-friendly than a Dyson or a Shark, because you don't have to do that. And most Dysons are really stiff to turn, and most Sharks don't even turn a perfect 90 degrees, so these are certainly better when it comes to that. Now, one thing I like about this bagged version is that the motor on this one is a lot quieter than the motor on this one. This one has the typical loud, low-pitched Dirt Devil motor. This one is about on par with loudness to, let's say, a 12-amp Bissell like the original Power Forces. Of course, it cleans a lot better than them. Of course it does. Anything does, really. But, it still sounds like them. It's definitely not as loud as one of these, which is why I like it. And I prefer the pitch of this motor compared to that one, but it's still fine. I don't know. Something about the note of B flat, which is what this motor peaks at, is audibly pleasant to me. But yeah, I have yet to actually use this edge wedge tool. I would take it out, but I gotta literally slap it into the bag door to get it back in because it does not want to go back in. I have yet to actually use this though. It seems like a good idea. The only question is it a good idea? I know that Bissell made a version of that kind of rolls around on wheels, but I don't have any of those. For a store brand vacuum, it has a telescopic wand, especially for late 90s, early 2000s. I think that's a good feature. This wand originally came with that, but I put it on this because I knew I'd use this more often. But a telescopic wand is a good idea on every vacuum. If your vacuum does not have a telescopic wand, that's on you. I don't know what to say. I wish more brands would do telescopic wands and floor heads for vacuums that don't have the ability to turn off the brush roll, because you can still use it on hard floors, but whatever. Again, this one does not have HEPA filtration, but I'll get some Hoover Type Y HEPA bags and I'll put one in there. Both of these have the same incredibly annoying hand release and motor mount setup. The reason why I say that is because they're very prone to breaking. The reason why is these motor mounts only go so far into the actual base that it actually causes a weak point that could break. It's not as good as, let's say, a Eureka like on the Whirlwind Lightspeed, the Maxima, the Contour, or any other Eureka for that fact, really. And also, I don't know what it is, but for some reason on this one, the actual body broke where it latches in. I really don't get why they made these such prone to failing. You would think that someone would catch that, but whatever. So, moving on to this one. Both of them take interchangeable brush rolls, considering that they have the same base, but I think we all knew that. This one is louder, but it does have a proper HEPA filter on it, so it kind of muffles the sound a little bit, but it's still relatively loud. I think this bag check indicator works better than this thing because neither of these spinny little performance indicators actually work on these. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong or what, but it really doesn't. Bagless powder picks up more dirt. Yeah, you wish. You know, this bagless design really isn't the worst thing in the world. It's certainly not as good as something with a dual cyclone like the Hoover Rewind, the one with the dual cyclone, or the Hoover T-Series, anything along those lines, but this does just fine. In fact, it does better than some of the non-cyclonic designs that you can find today, like a Bissell Power Force Helix, a Shark of any kind, or whatever else, a modern Dirt Devil. This one has the pleated filter, unlike that one which has cloth ? Filter. That is dishwasher safe. This one is not. but oh well. One thing I think is interesting about the bagless ones is pretty much all the bagless ones came with a stretch hose, but a lot of the bagged ones didn't. You'd have to get the Ultra MVP Swivel Glide in red, the most advanced one, with I think a metal handle, to actually get a stretch hose. But I think a stretch hose would be a nice addition for these. Does anyone know what the purpose of this hose hook is? I never seem to ever find a need for one. This hide a hose is certainly something interesting. That's how it works. You get a good amount of hose that just hides in the end right here. It's a genius idea if you want to save hose length. I think Sebo and Windsor does a similar thing with their hoses and wands. It's a little clear tube right here, so you can actually see if something is plugged up or not. So I don't know if you noticed, but the top cord hook on that one is completely broken off, but this one is still in relatively good shape. It moves way too freely when there's no cord on it. In fact, it moves way too freely with a cord on it, but it's there, so that's all that matters to me. This one did have the crevice tool as well with that wand. Again, I put the wand on that because I knew I was going to use that more than this. But also, I really like this blue color. I really do. Unfortunately, most of the gold accents that mark things like the height adjustment, the labels and stuff, you can see there's still some of that left. It's unfortunately all rubbed off, but there are at least indents to indicate that there is something there. So I'm going to put in some earplugs because that is allowed, and I will give a demo of both of them. Another thing I kind of don't like is, for some reason, all of my swivel glides, of literally all 4 of them, have this upside down style plug. So the neutral is on this side and the hot's on this side. Now on other vacuum cords you'd usually have it the other way, so that this would be facing downwards and the neutral would, be on the left side looking at it from this way, but it's on the right side and it's upside down, and I don't know why, but that kind of bugs me. But yeah, here is the bagged swivel glide. Relatively easy to use. Yeah, I can see the hose retracting and expanding. This is a very narrow hose for some reason. I don't know why they put such a narrow hose on these, but whatever. Whatever. But now it's time for the MVP Silver. For some reason, the power switch is way down here. So yeah, that's what both of them sound like, if you didn't know that already. 2 completely different motors. The one in this one is they're both kind of similar to an Amatec Lamb. Although if you know anything about those are relatively quieter than what they have already. Don't remember what these ones use. I think this one might use an Amatec lamb, but I'm not sure. But yeah, those are the Dirt Devil MVP swivel glides, both bagged and bagless, vision and non. So yeah, I'm Jax of Action Safety. Thank you for watching. More to come in the future, and I will see you in the next one.